Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello, Subhash and
Uh,
Sriram. Are you ready?
yes.
Yeah, my voice is audible to you?
Now, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we start?
Sure.
Okay. Done with yesterday's concept?
Mm-hmm.
Any queries on that? Any queries on language basics, control structures, or not?
I'm good.
What about others? Sriram?
Still going through.
Okay. Any queries?
No, not for now.
Okay. Today, let us start with the OODS classes. Okay. Yesterday we were discussing like features of Java and then how to install Java software, what is class path, how to run a simple Java program we have seen, right? So today we are going to start with object orientation. Okay. So what are the basic differences between procedure orientation and object orientation? Yesterday we were discussing. In procedure orientation, in a simple thing, so there is no reusability, there is no security for the data and the program, and the complexity cannot be managed, and there is no close relationship between the data and the program. So they are suitable only for system level programming, not for business applications where there is complex queries and there will be a complexity in your functionalities. So it is not possible by means of procedure oriented programming system. So we are moving to object oriented programming language. So here our Java is a pure object-oriented language in which we are going to support, it is going to support all object-oriented features like encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, abstraction. So before going with the object orientation, so first of all let us discuss with what are the building blocks for object orientation. Okay, there are two building blocks basically for object-oriented programming languages, that is called as first number one class, and the second one is called as an object. So in whole object-oriented programming system, we will be playing with these two things called as classes and objects. So what is a class? Let us see. So a class looks like this. Class like person. Okay. Now, if you wanted to do any application for a person details, maybe employee, worker, manager, okay, salesman, whatever it is, if you wanted to develop an application for these many kinds of persons, first of all, we must be able to identify what is the name of that particular entity. So that name we are identifying it as a person. And then we should identify the properties of this particular entity. Means regarding this person, what are all the features you can declare and what is the functionality you wanted to provide in this application. Everything you have to define inside these classes. So let us say, for example, person age, okay, then person name, and then person address. So string is a predefined class here. And next is, for example, other details we wanted to give, let us say string email address. Okay. So what are all the other details you wanted to give? So you just declare all these things like these are called as member variables. It means which defines the state of the person. Means what is the age of a person, what is the name of a person, address of a person, and email. Everything should be related to this particular entity, which we are calling it as class. Class is a user-defined data type. Okay, it is a user-defined data type which defines state and behavior of an entity. Okay, so it looks like similar to struct data type in C language. Do you remember struct? So we have a struct. Let us say we have a person struct in C language in which we used to declare certain details like age. Okay, we used to declare character, name, value, and maybe like double or this stuff. So this was structure in C language. So by seeing this structure in C language, they have developed this class data type. They have derived it from this class, this type of data type. But here, this data type represents multiple data types. Okay, we can represent elements of different data types. We can store different data types like integer, char, float, double, like that. Here what happens, this is called as a structure, but this structure is only used to store some elements of different data types. But there is no functionality here. Means we used to write in a C program like this a function called main, in which we used to create a structure variable like this struct person, okay, p, and then we used to write p dot something we used to call the variable. It means there is no direct relationship between the data and your logic. There is no close binding between these two things. Because of that reason, if there is no close binding, if you call the members many times, so it cannot manage. Okay, there is no close binding between your statements and the data, so there is no we cannot manage the complexity of the application. If we need to call the variables multiple times, if we need to call certain functions multiple times, so it is not manageable. So that is the reason somehow we have to bring together the data and the functions into one unit. That is what we are calling it as a class data type. Means we will declare the functions here, variables here, and as well as functions also here. Void read data. This is a function. Means you wanted to read the details of the person. Okay, whatever data, whatever logic you wanted to do it here. And then you wanted to calculate something and you wanted to return some values. Okay, display data. You are writing one more function. And you wanted to do some other calculation for person. Okay, again you wanted to show some other method. It means you are binding together data and the functions in one unit. Everything now it has become a class. It means class is a combination of member variables and member functions or method. In Java term, we will call it as a method. Method is nothing but a function inside a class. Okay. Now, a class is a user-defined data type which defines the state of an entity, means the member variables of this person class, and behavior of the entity. Behavior means the function. The functions of this person means for this person we can read the data, we can display the data, we can show the data, we can do some details, some functionality with this person. So what are all the functionalities you wanted to provide? Write down or as many functions as you want. That is called as a class data type. So whenever you start with object-oriented programming language, first you must define a class, and only you have to work with class. Everything should be inside a class. This is what is called as object-oriented programming. Okay. Now, because of these classes, we are going to achieve so many features and so many advantages we are going to get. So that is what we are going to do. Okay. To understand encapsulation, to understand abstraction, first of all, we must understand what is a class. Okay. So now, this class is similar to struct data type with some additions called struct will have only the data type, whereas class will have data and function, which defines the state means data, behavior means functionality. So we can also say that class is a combination of member variables and member functions. Okay, and sometimes we will call it as class is a blueprint. It means why it is blueprint means we can define only the things, but we cannot access them directly. Okay, it means class is declared over here, but we cannot access directly this age, name, and address, because there is a standard procedure, and this is only a like a physical template, and there is no memory allocated for this. This is only a declaration part. Okay, then how to access these members means when you are going to create a program, when you are going to execute your program, memory should be allocated for these members of a class. Means you want to use person class, means memory should be allocated for this. Then only we can use it. memory is not allocated for your class here. So how to allocate the memory? That can be done with an object. Okay. Object is nothing but it is reference to the to class, or it is a pointer to a class, and it is used to access members of a class, maybe variables, maybe methods. It means first of all memory should be allocated, right? That is called as instantiation. Object instantiation means this can be done with like class name, object name equal to new of class name. This is the syntax you have to follow to create an object. For example, person is our class, right? So you should say that person P equal to new of person. So now P is a memory allocated for the class called person. Okay, person is our class name. You should give the same name as your class name, and this is a new variable name. It can be anything user defined. And again, you have to use mandatorily new operator to allocate the memory. And again, you should say that your class name. Now the memory is allocated for this P. Now the P is nothing but the memory for your person object. For example, see, this is the person detail you have created like a class, and you are declaring everything here. So this is all your class declaration. There is no memory allocated. Now when you create this P object, now memory got allocated. Now it is ready to access. This is not ready to access. Okay, this is only a template structure, and this is holding some memory. So now you can access, you can make use of members of class, you can access it for your execution of your program. You can store and you can retrieve. Everything is dynamic in nature. Whenever your program is executed, this memory gets created, this object is created, and whenever your program is execution is completed, this memory gets reallocated. Memory is getting destroyed. So because of this dynamic allocation, deallocation, our program is secure. Okay, suppose you are performing with like banking application. So you are performing with ATM withdrawal. So whenever you give your ATM PIN number and all, dynamically it will be stored in an object. As soon as your transaction is completed, your object gets destroyed. Means nowhere your PIN number will be stored. So this is more secure, right? Compared to in procedure-oriented languages, there is no dynamism like this. Memory is not allocated dynamically. So everything is static. Even if you run your ATM program, still your PIN number is stored with your static memory in your system. So if anybody want to hack it, they can hack. Okay. So here less security, here more security, more dynamic. Okay. Now this is called as an object. Once an object is created, then only memory get allocated. And for a single class, we may create multiple objects. As many objects as we want, we can create. And every object is allocated different memory locations. Suppose P, P1 and P2. So again P1 is another memory, P2 is another memory. Likewise, you can create as many objects as you want. And every object is allocated separate memory, and every object will be holding different values. So those values, those variables are called as instance variables. So these are also called as instance variables. Why instances? Means they differ from instance to instance. They differ from object to object. So they are called as instance variables. Okay. Now let us do some program on this. How to create a class, how to create an object, and how to make it up. Yesterday also we have created a class, but we are not using any object for that. So let us say we'll create student. We are declaring a class called student, and there are two variables called age and name, and I am writing two functions called read and write. or disk as a function. And in this disk function, I would like to show the details of name and age. So to print anything in Java, we have to use system.out.println. Okay, name colon name and age colon. Okay, age. So this name and age are the variables which have been declared here, and this is just to print a message. Done. This is the class completed. Now to make our class executable, we must and should write public static void main. Okay. Now main is also one of the member function of your class. Means it should be also inside your class. Done. Now here, now everything is enclosed in a class. We are not calling it, so they are not executed. So first of all, memory is not allocated. So to allocate the memory, we should create an object. Student s equal to new of student. Class name should match, otherwise it cannot create. So student s is equal to new of student. Memory get allocated. Now, simply you wanted to call s dot read function. So that in s variable, read is called, so name is Ramu, age is 10, it is allocated. Now you wanted to call this function. It should call this function and it should print name equal to Ramu and age equal to 10. Let us say you wanted to create another object. Okay, so it means you are creating s1 here and you are not calling read function, but s1 dot age equal to 20. Like this also you can call s1 dot name equal to Ravi. Means if you want to access the members of a class or methods or functions of a class, you have to use this reference or object or instance. This dot age equal to 20 and s1 dot name equal to Ravi. It is stored as a name and name as a Ravi and age as 20. Now you wanted to call s1 dot disk. S dot disk should show the Ramu detail. S1 dot disk should show the Ravi detail. Let us check. We will save it. Save as. See here, it is going to show Ramu details and as well as Ravi details. So this is called an instance. Means S is allocated different memory, S1 is allocated different memory. So however how many objects you create, that many number of times you can store instances, different instance of values, different sets of values. That is called as instance variable. You can create one more object, you can assign some different values, you can display, you can call the variables, you can call the function. Following Sriram and Subhash.
Yep,
Any queries?
I'm good so far.
So this is basically the class and an object. So most of the time we will be using these classes and objects for our object orientation concept. Okay. So we are saying that class is a building block for each concept and object is also one of the building blocks. If we clearly understand what is a class, what is an object, and rest of the features are easy. Okay. The next concept, the first feature of our OOP concept is encapsulation. So encapsulation is nothing but whatever we are discussing. See, binding together data with the functions is called as an encapsulation. And as well as we are protecting things, we are writing everything inside a class. Okay. And we are going to avoid the unauthorized access this members. So everybody, if anybody wanted to call something from this age, they cannot call it directly. They should instantiate through object only you can come. And still we can provide access specifiers using which we can hide some accessibility. So that is what is called as encapsulation. Okay. So encapsulation example is every class is an example for encapsulation. Whenever we write a class, it's nothing but an encapsulation. Okay. The next thing we are going to see is inheritance. This is for reusability. Whenever you wanted to reuse the things which are existing, so just we can go for inheritance. Okay. So how can we perform this inheritance? Let us see. And how it is making the code reusability, that all we do. Let us say we have a class called student. Okay, name and age is there. Now I wanted to write a class called, it's not a student, let us say it's taking as a person. There is a class called person, person name, person age, person name, person age is given. No, this class is ended here. Now I wanted to write a class called customer. Okay, and in which I don't wanted to redeclare again age and name. I wanted to use the features of this person again. So I wanted to reuse the details of this person called age and name. So if you wanted to use the features of age and name here, okay, just simply I can say that extend person. This is called as inheritance, acquiring the properties of one class into another class. It means if something is available here, we don't need to redeclare that. You can reuse it again. This class can be created by you or can be created by somebody else. If it is existing, then we can use it. Let us say person details you are extending means you need not again redeclare age and name. You need not redeclare again read function. Anything else is required, that only you can write it. Okay, like you wanted to redeclare something, integer mobile number, and next string email, which is not available over there. Now you wanted to say that show details is a function in which you wanted to show because name is available in the superclass. This is called as a superclass. This is called as a subclass, parent class, child class, base class, derived class. Okay, so whatever is there here, you can use it directly. You don't need to redeclare. This is called reusability. Okay, name, age is already available over there. So we simply are going to use it. Like here, whatever is not there, you wanted to just use it. Now where is mobile and this email details? So you can just use some number. Now the thing is show details is a function in customer program, customer class, and read is a function in a person class, and this is a super class, this is a subclass. Now you wanted to write a main method within a subclass. So public static void main. Okay. Now you wanted to execute something from this customer. So first of all, what do we need? We need to create an object. Otherwise, we cannot access anything. Customer C equal to new of customer. So you are creating an object for this. When you create an object for these, you are able to call the members of these and as well as members of superclass because of your inheritance. you are going to use a keyword called extend and a superclass name called person. Whatever the superclass name is, there the same name you have to use. And strictly you remember here that in Java, one class can extend only one class at a time. We can't give one more class here like some other class. There are some two other classes called K and L. You can't extend at a time more than one class. Only one class is allowed. Okay. Now, you have created an object for subclass. Now you are able to call anything from subclass and anything from superclass. Let us C dot. First of all, you wanted to call read function. Read is of superclass. Yes, you can read it. And now you wanted to call show details. Yes, you can call. Everything is possible. Now the class in which you are storing, you are writing the main method. You need to save, not the superclass. The class name you have to save. So file save as. Okay, you are able to get all the details, right? Is this Ramu and age available in our customer class? No, but we are able to call it by using our customer class object. Okay, so it is possible means that is what is called as inheritance. Means using inheritance, we are going to reduce the length of a program, and we are able to support the code reusability, data reusability. Whatever is already there, you need not rewrite again. You can just use it. Okay. Suppose I wanted to write a new class in which I don't have anything. Just I am commenting everything here. Okay. Now I will write an employee as a class. Simply I am commenting everything above. I am writing only a class called employee. Now I wanted a features of customer, features of person, everything I want. Okay. So simply you can say that extend customer. Okay. See, person is extended by customer and customer is extended by employee. So now employee is able to access anything from customer and anything from person. Now you just wanted to print public static environment. Now you create an object for employee. E.read you can, E.show details you can, and still if you wanted to print something here, some function is there in your employee class, even you can call that one. Now it is not available in our program, right? I have commented this. Now I am writing only this class because this is already available in our machine. Means we have already compiled this customer.class. So we will be having our .class file. So we can make use of the .class file, and now we can also extend that customer class in our program. So now, first of all, we have to save the employee. Employee is already some employee is there. when you create your customer class, okay, you make it as a public. When you compile it, you have to make it as a public class, okay, then it is accessible. Okay, no problem. We'll keep from here to here, like person, customer, and then employee, then we will know more. Otherwise we have to make that class as a public. See, in our employee class, just we are writing only the display function, but we are able to call with the same object of employee class. We are able to call the current class function, super class, show details function, okay, and as well as super class read. So this person is a base class. This is called as a child class. And again for customer, there is one more child class called employee. So employee is deriving the properties of customer, deriving the properties of person. Okay, so whoever is writing this class, okay, they can save it, they can compile it, and anybody may come up and they can create one more class, and they can use the existing feature. This is called as inheritance. Okay, inheritance is making use of the existing data and existing functionality, which reduces the program length and which makes the code reusability and as well as data reusability. And in Java, we can perform this inheritance in many ways. Like we can have single inheritance. Single inheritance means there is a class, and from A class you are going to derive from B, from to B. It means there is one class person, you are just inheriting that into customer. That's it. You are leaving. So which is called as single inheritance. Okay, and there is called as multi-level inheritance. Multi-level means A to B and B to C and then C to D. Like that, if you are going to continue, then it is called as multi-level. It's an unlimited process. You can continue any number of times. Next is called as multiple. Multiple is not directly possible in Java. That is nothing but A, B, C. Okay, multiple classes into one class. Many into one means A is also inherited, B is also inherited, C is also inherited, which is called as multiple inheritance, and which is not possible in Java directly, but indirectly it is possible. That we will discuss in coming session. Next is called as hybrid. Hybrid means you just observe here. So like you have combination of multiple and multi-level. Suppose you have this is A, this is B, okay, this is one more object, and this is C. Like this is called as multi-level, A to B, B to C. Now here also you have multiple X and Y. There is two more classes which are inheriting into the same C class. So this comes under multiple and this comes under multi-level. When both is combined in the same application, then it is called as hybrid inheritance. And next is hierarchical inheritance. It means many into one. Okay, and one into many. Then it is called as hierarchical inheritance. So however we want for our application, depending on our application complexity, depending on our application logic, we may implement any one of these techniques like single, multi-level, multiple, hybrid and hierarchical. Whichever is useful, whichever suits to our application, we can use. This is inheritance. Okay. So inheritance means in Java you have to keep in mind mainly there is a class called super, okay, and always the subclass will extend. Use the keyword called extend. Extends you are using means it's nothing but an inheritance. And this is called as a super class, parent class or base class. And this is called as a subclass, child class or derived class. Okay. So up to this clear? Sriram, any queries on inheritance?
I'm good. Yeah, I can understand.
So we'll go with abstraction.
Sure.
Okay. So abstraction, it is nothing but data hiding. Okay. We will discuss one more concept called access specifiers. Access specifiers in Java. So in Java, we have mainly, there are access specifiers called public, private, protected, and default. These are called as access specifiers. Okay. So what is this access specifier? Let us see. Okay. Now, when you are working with multiple classes, let us say you are working in one folder that we will imagine like a package. It is like a folder. Let us say we have a class A and we have a class B which is inheriting class A in the same package, and we have a class C which is not inheriting a class. We can create multiple classes in a folder. Let us say in our folder we are creating so many classes, right? We created switch demo, we created student, we created customer, we created okay, person, we created CR. So many classes are there. Few classes are inheriting the other classes and few classes are not inheriting. So whichever is inheriting, they are called as subclasses. Whichever is not inheriting, means not extending, they are called as non-subclasses. There may be subclasses present in the package, there may be non-subclasses present in the package. Okay. And now all are classes ABC. In class ABC, you are declaring something as a public, a method as a public or a variable as a public. Now it is accessible by all the classes, even within the package, even outside of the package. It means you have another package here in which you have X class, Y class, Z class. And X is inheriting your A. Means you can also inherit a class beyond the package also. So X is a class which is inheriting A from the other package. This is a P1, pack1, and this is pack2. Package is nothing but a folder. So in one folder you have ABC classes, in another folder you have XYZ classes. In X class you wanted to get the features of A. Yes, you can get it. When you are getting, if something is public here, it is accessible here. It means in a class, in some class, if you declare something as a public, which is public for all the classes, public for all the packages, everywhere you can use it. There is no restriction at all as public. And something if it is declared as a private, okay, suppose let us say in my student class, I made age as public, or let us say I wanted to make name as public. It means anybody can make use of my string variable name even in my current class, subclass, and other class. So I can make it as a public. Private, I don't want to show my age to anybody else in the subclass. I wanted to show my age only for this class. If anybody is going to inherit my student class, suppose some person extends to student they are taking, in person class, I don't want it to allow this age is to be used. Then I can make it as private. Whenever you make something as a private, it is restricted to this class. If you make something as a private here, it is restricted to the same class and it is not allowed by any other class. Okay, that is called as private. A variable can be private, a member function also can be private. If you say this equal to this is of type private, nobody can access that method in a subclass. Means by specifying your access specifiers, you are restricting the scope of the variable, you are restricting the scope of the function. Okay. Next is protected. Protected means if something is declared as a protected in this class, It is accessible by your subclass. It is accessible by your non-subclasses. Means the class which is not inheriting also they can use it. And even the subclasses in the outside of the package also accessible. But non-subclasses means which is not inheriting. Y is not inheriting A. Z is not inheriting A. They cannot use it. Protected cannot be used. Coming to public, they can use it. Clear? Beyond the package, only subclasses can access the public variable. Non-subclasses cannot access the protected variable. Okay. Next, default. Default means always remember package level scope. Means as long as you are working within the package, it is accessible by all classes. When you come to the beyond package, it will not cannot accessible beyond the package, called as default. Clear? So whichever the functions and variables you wanted to restrict, package level, subclass level, current class level, use this public, private, protected and default. Okay. The basic differences is, I will show you some small Excel chart. Okay. Public, private, protected and default. Public means the current class, means within a class. Sub class in same package. Non-subclass in same package. Subclass in other package. Non-subclass in the other package. This is all the scope. Same package means same folder. Other package means a different folder. Public, everywhere it is accessible. Okay. Coming to private, only current class, nowhere it is accessible. And coming to protected, current class accessible, subclass in the same package accessible, non-subclass in the same package accessible, subclass in the other package accessible, non-subclass it is not accessible. Default, up to package level everything is accessible, other package it is not accessible. This is what you have to remember. What is package we will see again in the packages concept. Okay, I'll share this thing also to you so that you can refer it later. Okay. That is called as access specifiers. Whenever you wanted to restrict your access member variables and functions for your classes, where you are going to perform inheritance, keep in mind these access specifiers and whichever is applicable for your class, you can just apply. Next is called as abstraction. So before to understand the abstraction, let us declare a class called abstract class. So far we are discussing with a simple class, right? Now coming to abstract class, always it should have a keyword called abstract, which is called as an access modifier. If a class is given as abstract, means it should have at least one abstract method. What is abstract method? Abstract method means it should have a keyword called abstract, void field and semicolon. We should not write any body for this method. Usually in a previous classes, whenever we write a function, we will write a body. Whenever we write a class, we will write a body for that. But coming to abstract classes, we will not write the body for that. We will give a semicolon over here, which is called as abstract method. A method without body is called as abstract method. And it can also have a method with body. But an abstract class is a class, at least one abstract method should be there, one or many. Okay, there may be a single or many abstract methods. Abstract method is without body, and this show method means they are all called as concrete method. Concrete method means method with body. It's called as concrete method. So now, why to write this type of abstract methods means, see, to hide some logic. See, for example, when the vehicle is first time invented by some scientist, so they wanted to hide certain business logic. They don't wanted to show the actual business secrets what they have used in their implementation. So then they will not give any implementation, but they will give only declaration. Means my method will do this kind of logic, but how it is doing, it will not show. That kind of methods are called as abstract methods. Giving only declarations, not the implementation. Okay, so it means writing only the method name and method signature means the declaration part, and not writing the method body is called as an abstract method. So if it is an abstract method, so there must be definitely an implementation that should be done in the subclass. Okay, so the method without body is called as an abstract method, and always it should be given as a keyword called abstract. If a class is containing at least one of this kind of method, then the class should be of abstract. And what are the special features for this abstract class? Means abstract class cannot be instantiated, means object cannot be created, and it must be inherited. It should be extended. So whenever you write any abstract class means you must and should, okay, this is an abstract class vehicle. Now you should write a class called car, which should extend vehicle, and which should implement the method. This is abstract over here. Now you write it like, don't write again abstract here. Simply say that please say here, you can say that okay. Then we'll simply say that public static void main string of and now you wanted to create an object for this car. Car is equal to new of car. You cannot create an object for vehicle. Okay, and now c dot you are going to call a method called speed. Also you can call c dot show. Means this is a method, but you cannot create an object for vehicle. This type of class is called as an abstract class. Now you create an object of save it as save as r.java. Vehicle spelling wrong. Here it is a vehicle. Last name should match. Okay. So my car speed is you are getting it from this implementation. You are writing the logic here, and show is as it. This is called as an abstraction. Then why to write this kind of abstract classes means whenever you are starting up with some application or the project, first the top level people will decide this kind of abstract classes. They will say that this has to be implemented and this is the rule and there is no implementation for this. So who has to write the implementation means the subclass. So here in this subclass they have to write the implementation. Clear with abstraction, Subhash and Sriram? Because it is very
Yep.
okay. Abstraction means always remember that without implementation, and it should be implemented.
Right.
But there is a limitation in an abstract class, that is, we are writing a method called show, okay, which is a concrete method. We are not able to call it directly with the object of vehicle because object for this abstract class we can't create an object. So there is no use of show method declaring here, right? So that is one limitation. And one more thing is, if I have many abstract classes, one is vehicle, one is another abstract class. If at a time I want many into one, many abstract classes I wanted to inherit into a single class, it is not possible. At a time I can inherit only one class, that is only one abstract class. So here multiple inheritance is not possible, which is one of the limitation of your abstract class. Okay, so multiple inheritance is not possible. So how to achieve that? That is called as interface. Okay, that can be achieved by interface. What is an interface? We will see. It is also very similar to abstract class. Rather than our abstract class, we will be having a construct called interface, which looks like a class but not a class. An interface is like a class which is not a class. Interface vehicle, in which we have a method called speed. And by default here all are public and abstract. We cannot say that it as abstract. Need not give that keyword. By default it is abstract. And if you write some other function, also it should be abstract. Void mileage, also abstract. And I have another interface called parking. This is also an abstract. Now many into one. For my same class called like bus, I wanted to inherit both. I need vehicle features, means speed and mileage, and I need charges function of parking. Then I am able to do now multiple inheritance. Now whenever we are going to use interfaces, we should use implement keyword rather than extend keyword and give vehicle, comma, parking. And you should implement speed. You must also implement mileage, and also you should implement charges. Okay, so whatever you wanted to do, you can do that. Mileage is okay. So likewise, I am able to now implement vehicle and parking, and I am able to override all the methods, speed, mileage, and charges. Now, multiple inheritance is possible. Okay, create an object for bus. B dot speed, B dot mileage, and B dot charges. All methods you are able to follow. Now save this as bus, save as. Okay, you are able to call all the functions. This is called as multiple inheritance is possible by means of interfaces. And interfaces also looks like abstraction, right? Means there is no implementation for your method. So this is also abstract, and this is also abstract, this is also abstract. There is no concrete method. Means in an abstract class there may be a concrete method, but here there is no concrete method. All must and should be abstract. And there may be multiple interfaces, and multiple interfaces can be implemented. Now in Java, multiple inheritance is also possible with interfaces. Clear, Subhash and Sriram? So this comes under data. Data abstraction can be possible by means of abstract classes and interfaces. Any queries on interfaces?
No. I have one on abstraction. It doesn't make any sense for concrete method, but what is its application?
Yeah, here we can have some abstract concrete methods. There is no use of that. Only within a subclass only you are able to access it. Coming to interfaces, we cannot write any concrete method. All must and should be abstract. Okay. Any method is
Okay.
written, you write it in addition in a subclass without any definition of your interface. Interface means it should provide only the interface. It should provide only the method declaration, not any implementation.
Okay.
Okay. Now let us go with the polymorphism. Or we have some other few topics called like static data type. Okay, so that's it. See, so far we are discussing with some other features called member variables and member functions, right? There is a class called book. In book, you wanted to declare book title. Okay? And then book price. Okay? And there is a variable called string. publisher name, string publisher. String publisher. So here title and price may vary from book to book. It means you wanted to create multiple objects for a single class. Okay. So this is a book class, okay, for which you are creating an object called one book, another object, and one more object, like 3 objects you created. This is a class and these are all objects. This is one object, this is one object, this is one object. Now coming to title and price, here title can be Java, here title can be Oracle, title can be PHP. Price, here price can be like $500, here can be $200, it can be like $800. Everywhere you can have different values because they are all instances. They can hold different values with different memory allocation. But coming to, there is some common variable called publisher. Publisher is common for all. Let us say you don't want it to give a different publisher for different books. All the books which have been created here should be published by a single publisher. Means this publisher should not be of type called instance variable. If it is an instance, here they can give different publisher name, here they can give, and here they can give some different publisher name. So that's the reason anything is to be maintained here like a common thing for all, common for all the instances. That should be made as static. Clear? So static means always it is called as a class level. And these are all are called as the static variable and the class level, and these are called as instance variables and object level. Means whenever object differs, variable also differs. It means let us create an object for this. Okay, book b equal to new of book, b1 dot title equal to Java, b1 dot price equal to this. And you are creating another object called b2. Now b2 dot title is different, b2 dot price is different. Okay. See, because title and prices are instance variables, they can hold different values with different objects. Coming to publisher, publisher is what? A static variable which is common for all. So you need not give like b1, b2, you need not specify that. Directly you can say that publisher equal to ABC publisher. That's it. Okay. ABC dot publisher. Now this will be stored here, not with an object. Whereas these values are stored in the object. Okay, here they will be stored. But this is stored at class level. Okay, now if you wanted to print anything, just you can print it. Okay, first a publisher name. Publisher. B1 dot title, B1 dot price. And coming to B2 also, if you wanted to print, here publisher, B2, B2. Now I am going to save. See here, ABC publishers is common for both the instances, and this is going to differ. So this is called as static variable. The variable which is common for all the instances should be declared as static. Static means which is class level, which is common for all the instances, and for which we don't require an object. Directly we can store anything. This is called as a static variable. Means which is also called as a class level variable, which can be assigned directly. We don't need the object for that. And if at all, if you wanted to access it, there is another procedure that when you are printing publisher, you can print it directly, or you can print it in three ways. If required, if you wanted to access it with the object, also you can, but it doesn't make any sense. It gives B1.publisher also same, B2.publisher also same. And one more thing is, using class name also you can access it. What is the class name? Book. Everywhere you will get the same. Everywhere you will be getting the same. Okay. So this is what is called as static data type. Static means it's a class level. Clear the difference between static type and non-static type? Non-static means only static or non-static. And this is static. Clear, Subhash?
Yes, ma'am. Good.
Okay. Suppose let us say best real-time example is you are working with like let us say joint account folder. This is your joint account folder details. Now in this there are three different persons who are maintaining your joint account. Okay, every person's mail IDs, email IDs, mobile numbers, names, and other details will be different. So that you can declare it as a instance variable. Coming to the balance figure which they are going to maintain, it will be a common for all. It should be a single figure. If anybody is going to deposit or withdraw, it should be affected to a common variable. Okay, so that should be made as a static type. Where even though we are working with like a procedure or object orientation, sometimes we need some data should be declared as a class level. So that type of things we can make it as a static type. Okay. And whenever it is declared as a static, its special feature is it can be called directly. Okay. It means static variable and method can be invoked directly and using class name and using object name. Three ways we can access. Okay, like this. Using directly, using object name, using class name. But everywhere it is affected to the same thing. And also a method can be static. See here, I have a method called static void disk, in which I wanted to show publisher name. Okay. When it is a static method, it can be called directly. You can call it directly. You're getting it, right? And you can call it by using the class name. Even you can call it by using like v1 dot diff, there is no difference at all. Everywhere you'll get the same output. Book should be capital. Okay. So this is what a static method. A method also can be static. Okay. So up to this clear, all of you?
Yep.
And today I'll give you some programs on these concepts like inheritance, abstraction, static data type and all. And you can go through that example and these are all the examples, and I'm going to give you some assignments today. This static demo, what we were discussing with, along with that, there is some instance method, there is static method, how to call an instance method, how to call a static method. Only the thing the class name differs here, except the logic will be same. And don't go for polymorphism because that is not covered today. But interface demo you can go. What is an interface? What is that? One more feature we have called construct data type. This is also an inheritance. You just go through this. And next is I would like to give you some assignments for you today. In language basis, you try to solve these applications. Program to find the biggest of given three numbers. Which case, if you give a number, it should print a day of the week. Palindrome, even number, table, find sum of matrices. So you try to do this, otherwise I will give the solution. And then is oops. Oops, maybe you can start in the next session once you complete all the oops concepts, but go through this assignment. Okay, try to get some solutions. So any queries so far?
No.
The next concept is constructor. Okay. So constructor, as the name implies, it is mainly used for constructing an object. It means so far we are creating so many objects, so many things, right? For example, we use a book class. For this book class, okay, this is a class book. Forget about this static, forget about instance. Now, as soon as the book is created, you wanted to give, okay, title of a book or name of a book and price of a book. Okay, but you cannot give the value here, right? If you give like this, what happens? Simply for all the instances, the same thing get affected, right? So we are not supposed to give the values here. We should declare only here. Name and price is declared as a members of a book. And here we are creating an object. As soon as we create an object, memory get allocated for this. When memory get allocated, you wanted to initialize. It means to initialize the members of a class, we are going to use a special feature called constructor. Constructor looks like a function. but always its name is same as class name, and in which we will give the name of our parameter, that is maybe Java, and the second variable whatever we wanted to initialize, we can initialize that. So now this is called as a constructor without argument. Without argument means as soon as you call this, it will invoke this, its values get loaded. Now if you try to print system dot out dot println or okay b1 dot name, or b1 dot price, you print it. Let us observe. Okay, Java and triple line. It means what? As soon as you create an object, the constructor is invoked and the values are stored. The process of initializing in this fashion is called as constructor. Suppose in our previous programs, are we writing any constructor? No. Even then, a default constructor is created by JVM, which stores the startup value, means zero values, null values. But now, other than zero and null values, if you wanted to store some data, then we will use the constructor and we will store something. Okay. So whatever data I give will be stored and will be printed. We need not give b1 dot name equal to so and so, b1 dot price equal to so and so, because it is not initialized. Now I would like to give different values with different instances. Then I can give like this: string name, comma, int price, so that now this name is equal to this name, we can say. So this dot name equal to name, this dot price equal to price. Now I would like to create multiple objects. What is that? And also I don't want it to print one by one like this. I would like to write a method here called as void show. In this show I would like to print both at a time. This is more convenient than that. So if I call b1 dot show, it will be showing Java and triple line. Now I would like to give different values with different instances. See, observe here, total I have 4 objects: b1, b2, b3 and b4. In b1 dot show, b2 dot show, let us say we are calling the default constructor without argument. So every time it will show Java and triple line only. Here also will get the same thing, here also will get the same thing. But when we wanted to call, this is called as parameterized constructor. Means constructor with argument. Means we can pass our own values every time. We need not go for every time default value. Whatever you pass will be stored in this and will be stored in this. So third time I would like to pass authority, and the other time I wanted to pass. Okay. Here B3 is going to default by default. See, here both the time you will get the same thing. This is going to default because this is a constructor with argument, constructor without argument. Got the difference? So what's the purpose of constructor? Subhash and Sriram.
What's the question, ma'am?
Yeah. Purpose of the constructor.
We can call constructor.
Yeah. It is for initialization. Constructor is
for
for
initialization.
initialization, not for any business logic. If you write a function, means this is a function, right? Show is a function. You can write any logic in that. But coming to constructor, we can't write any logic. It is specifically, it is dedicated for only initialization purpose. Here we are
Whenever we
whenever we wanted to, as soon as an object is created, if you wanted to
constructor. There is constructor.
Okay. So how many types of constructors we use in this program?
Without parameter and with parameter. Two types.
Without parameters is like B point. Is how many objects you create. Let us say we created B1, we created B2. All the time it gets affected with the same value. Suppose you wanted to have different instances with different values, then you prefer one parameterized constructor. Now coming to in Java, we don't have any destructor. Okay, it means we are constructing the object like you are creating B1, B2, B3, B4, like 100 objects you create when you are running your program. You don't need to worry about whether these many objects are useful or not. JVM will take care. How many objects are not?
Garbage collector.
Yeah, it will simply garbage collect. And it's an automatic process by the JVM at regular intervals of time. Okay. So there is no need to write destructor here in Java. That is an automatic procedure. So up to this, enough for today, or we'll discuss some more topics. Do hands-on examples on this, whatever I am going to share you. Okay. See in this assignment, whatever is there, you try to understand first of all, and do this practice example and what the document I am going to share you. And this constructor demo is there. See, when you take an employee details are there. There is an without argument and there is with argument. Okay. Here without argument and with argument. There are two examples. Okay, you can practice both and you can try to do some more examples. I'm going to share this document, whatever we were discussing throughout our session. Okay. And any queries on previous session? Subhash and Ram.
I'm good.
No query?
No.
And one more thing, is there any possibility to attend like 1 hour before?
1 hour before? For me and details, it's not possible.
Okay. Okay, then we will continue tomorrow.
Tomorrow same time?
Tomorrow same time. I'll be
Okay.
sharing these documents and assignments and then examples, everything. So you can find out and you can start working.
Okay, you have our email address, right?
Yeah, I have.
So this class for like every day or from Monday to Friday? Yeah.
Okay, then tomorrow also we will have a session.
Okay.
Same time? Same time?
Yep. Yep. Tomorrow, like weekend, you can do if you want. We can do 1 hour early, but weekdays it's not possible.
Okay.
So let's do same time because of the time difference is confused. So let's do same time.
Same time?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tomorrow also the session will be same time.
Okay.
Okay?
And you send all those assignment and everything in email, right?
Okay. Yeah, I have your number.
Okay. And Deepesh, he called me. Maybe I don't know if he called you. Email, send email.
Okay,
He could not attend today, but he will be here tomorrow.
okay. Yeah, tomorrow we'll have a session.
Okay. All right. Thank you.